Okay, let's put that there. All right, I'm gonna start going live everywhere else, and we will start getting this popping, getting this started. Shout out to here. Yeah, I think Science is Friday for real. Or we could say think Freya. All right. That is Friday. All right, y'all. Let's keep dropping those likes, y'all. Keep dropping those likes, keep dropping those shares. We're getting things started. We're getting things popping over here. I just gotta make sure everything else is started everywhere else, and it looks like it is. Yeah, it is. All right, cool. It is, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the call lines. W to here. Quick shout out to my mod to here. Appreciate you to here. All right, y'all. Phone lines is open. Phone lines is open. We're just gonna go ahead and wait for a guest. So anyone who would like to call in, or if you're on TikTok and you disagree, you can definitely just hit that request button. Come up on board. And we have started everywhere. That looks good. All right, y'all. Looks like we have started everywhere. I'm just gonna make sure that I tag the folks on Facebook. All right, y'all. So we're on Twitch, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitch, we're on Instagram, we are on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. We are live everywhere, and I appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all tap that screen. We're all at 2,700 likes, which I appreciate. Go ahead and keep tapping that screen. We'll see if we go ahead and get some folks in here. Get some folks to come to the live and enjoy it. I do have a gift goal. I think I'm gonna start saying yeehaw when I get the hat and mustache. When I get the hat and mustache, I'm probably gonna start saying yeehaw. Yeehaw. All right, y'all. Yeah, so it is Friday, and we chilling tonight. Probably gonna go ahead and do this maybe for an hour and a half, but there are a lot of people live, so we'll see how many guests I get, because we do have a lot of people live tonight. A lot of people who are debating. We got Justin live. Trust but Verify is also live. I think Coco is live too right now. Yeah, we got some folks live right now. We got a lot. I think actually Omni just ended. Yeah, Roan just ended a few minutes ago. So we do got a few folks live tonight. So we'll see if we get anybody who would like to come in and chat. We'll see if we get anybody who will call in as well. Now, unfortunately, what TikTok's been doing is that they like to force people to use the phone to go live. So just in case, where it becomes like 20 or 30 minutes and I don't get any type of guests, we'll go ahead and end the live, and then we'll start over on my phone. Because for some reason, TikTok just does not like it when you use your TikTok studio, unless you're like at 10,000 people already. Unless you're like really up there, like TikTok studio, for some reason, they invented it, but then they want to force everybody to use the phone. It's crazy. All right, we got people over on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube who disagree with me. Y'all, for the over there who's watching over on Deconstruction Junction, the phone number is right here. Go ahead and call on in. What up, why weed? How's it going? Yo, what's going on, why weed? All right, y'all. So if you're watching from anywhere, if you're watching from Deconstruction Junction, if you're watching from come on up, David. If you're watching from Deconstruction Junction, if you're watching from Volcy Thoughts, my personal YouTube, if you're watching from my Facebook or my Twitch or my Instagram, the phone number is right here. You can go ahead and call in. If you say something that, if you're on my TikTok and you say something that looks like you disagree with me, I'm just gonna go ahead and add you up, and we can actually have the conversation. I don't like talking back and forth to comments. Someone did ask me to define God. I'm talking about the God of like classical religion, or classical Western monotheism. We all kind of have an idea what that is, especially if you live in the West. So y'all, the phone number's right here if you disagree with me, y'all. Phone number's right there. Someone says they enjoy my channel. I do appreciate that. Do appreciate that you enjoy my channel. All right, y'all. So if you can't come up, right here is where you can call in. And if you can come up over on the TikTok, I'm going to invite you. If you say you disagree with me, or if you insult me, or if you're snarky, I'm just gonna say, hey, come on up and we'll actually have a conversation, because I feel that's more productive. That's a lot more productive than us going back and forth in the comments. Tell you the truth. All right, Blessed over on my YouTube says to repent and turn to Jesus. Hey, Blessed, numbers right here. Numbers right here, buddy. We can go ahead and talk about that. Yeah, that's a silly argument for God. Over on my over on Deconjunction, Shindog, he says that he gave his argument for God, but that's a pretty silly argument. And I can explain to you why. Just go ahead and call in, bro. Like talking back and forth in the comments is not going to get us anywhere. Go ahead and call in, and we'll talk more. Oh, you're nonverbal. That's why. All right, yeah. So if you're nonverbal, the reason why I call that a silly argument is because literary critics talk about Game of Thrones, but Ned Stark doesn't exist, does he? Yeah, I mean, so it's just because we talk about a certain thing doesn't mean that it actually exists. Just because we critique a certain thing doesn't mean it actually exists. Like when I was in high school, I spoke at length about, Naruto and Orochimaru and Madara Uchiha, but none of those characters actually exist in real life. So it's kind of silly to say that because we talk about them at a for extensively or make criticism about them, therefore they have to exist at some sort of scale. That doesn't make sense. They could exist at zero scale. Naruto is not a real person. He doesn't exist. So it's like me talking about Naruto doesn't make him exist. That's not how that works. Hey, I should debate these topics with Charlie. Someone said I should debate these topics with Charlie Kirk. Unfortunately, or what a lot of people would say is fortunately, yeah, I mean, he didn't protect his neck, so there's no way I could do it. All right, Gustavo, I'm gonna go ahead and invite you up as well because I have no idea what that sentence is supposed to mean. Like, go ahead and come on up and we'll talk about it. This is what I'm saying, y'all. Like, a lot of times when y'all type, y'all might do a typo and I'm not gonna understand what you mean, but I do know you disagree with something, so I'm gonna ask you to come up. You know what I mean? We could talk about it instead. All right, y'all. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting around for anyone to come up. Actually, waiting for someone to guest request. Waiting for someone to call. Oh man, yeah, ain't gonna get me banned for talking about their hero Kirk. All right, y'all. Once again, we're kind of just waiting for someone to come in. Y'all go ahead and keep tapping that screen. Keep tapping that screen, making sure that this gets out into the algo. We're gonna make sure that this gets into the algo. Keep tapping that screen. If you're over on my YouTube, keep the chats going. Go ahead and like it over on YouTube as well. And like I said, anybody who disagrees, go ahead and call the number. Like it's right there. There is someone that told me that they're nonverbal, so I decided that they can't call in. For that person, I'll talk to them through the chat. That's fine. But if you do have verbals, like if you can be verbal, go ahead and just call in and we'll go ahead and talk. See, this is the thing, y'all. There are two people who came into my TikTok live, clearly disagree with me. I invite them up and they kind of just get silent or run away. And sometimes I don't understand that. Where else am I streaming? I'm on YouTube, Facebook, even though Facebook is kind of boomer time right now, but I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitch. I'm streaming on all of them. All right. Paul Desmond says that he disagrees with everything, but for some reason he's not calling in. So Paul Desmond, the number's right there, 786-530-5941. Go ahead and call in. Over on a Deconstruction Junction, someone says they disagree. Cool. Call in. It's right there. Tell me why you disagree. Let's talk about it. The YouTube is Volcy Thoughts. VOLCY Thoughts. And not the thought that y'all thinking of. Y'all nasty asses. But Volcy Thoughts is the YouTube.
Call from Steve.
All right, Steve. How's it going, Steve? Can I get your age and what did you disagree with?
Well, my age is 33 years old. And frankly, I disagree with how security officers are really represented in society. I am a experienced security officer, been one for many years.
Okay.
As a security officer, you really go through life receiving a lot of disrespect. I feel.
Hey, Steve.
I feel like you get a lot of disrespect.
Hey, Steve. 1 second, Steve. All right. So my topic's on the board. I understand, you being a security guard or whatever. That's fine. But the topics I have on the board, do you disagree with any of those?
I don't care about those. I want
to. All right. Let me go ahead and call back the person who just called. Give me 1 second. The person that just called is calling from a 601 number. And call that person back.
Hey, this is Luke. I can't take your call right now because my phone's either dead or I'm...
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, how's it going? Can I get your age, please? And you called in. Did you disagree with what I had on the board?
I would rather stay anonymous.
Okay, cool. What do we call you?
Well, I think I disagree with just about anything on that board.
Are you at least 18? Cool. So yeah, he's that person was not at least 18. Yeah, you can tell. All right, y'all. So we're still here. Go ahead and keep liking that live. That was definitely a kid, definitely a child. That was definitely a child. All right, y'all. So keep liking the live. I appreciate y'all being here. All right. So Robin over on the Deconstruction Junction says I'm a brainwashed fool, but Robin won't call in. Here's the thing, y'all. It'd be so funny when they do this. They always they either call me foolish or insult me in the comments, but none of them is brave enough to call in, man. They be some be some cowards, bro. All right. If 4 and 5 are false, phone lines open. All right, we got a guest over on the TikTok.
Hello.
How's it going? What do we call you?
You can call me Win Parker.
Win Maga?
You can just call me whatever.
Wait. Your name is not whatever. What is your actual name? What do we call you?
You can call me Waden.
Waiting. Okay, cool. Waiting. Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with something I had on the board?
Yes and yes.
All right, cool. What did you disagree with?
Systemic racism.
All right, yes. Systemic racism is real. We can see that in several areas, such as the criminal justice system. We see it in real estate, and we even see it in healthcare. Why do you think it doesn't exist? Give me one moment, please, actually.
Call from
Jerry.
Hey, Jerry, how's it going? Allow me one moment. You're in a queue. I'm gonna put you on hold for just a second, and I'll get back to you. Okay? You're gonna hear your old music. Give me one moment.
Okay.
All right, Waden. I'm gonna go ahead and put our time here on the board. All right, cool. So, those are the areas where we see systemic racism. Why do you think it's not real?
It's not that I don't think it's not real. I think that the extent it doesn't contribute for everything
What does that mean?
nowadays. Like, like blacks on average are poorer than whites, you could say, statistically.
Mhm.
And I don't think that's just due to systemic racism. I think there's other factors that need to be
Such as what?
family. Like,
Black people don't have families.
no, that 50% of black kids don't grow up with two parents. And a two-parent household. I mean, two-parent household.
That stat is actually not verified because it goes off of marriages, and a lot of black parents cohabitate, so the father is there.
But they don't grow up in a household, like a two-parent household.
Okay, I don't think you understand what I meant. When it comes to the two-parent household things, they're looking at marriages, right? And a lot of these black families are cohabitating, meaning they're not married, but the father lives in a home.
Okay, I'll have to look at that. I'm not exactly sure though.
All right. No, well, yeah, you can look that up. But besides that, that wouldn't say anything about the wealth gap, right? Because when we look at white single mothers and black single mothers, even with the father not in the household, white single mothers are still out earning them, right? So it's like it can't just be like there's no parent in the household. They're not equal in that part. Because if it was just due to that, you'll see that white single mothers who have no father in the household and black single mothers who have no father in the household, they would be earning around the same amount, but they don't.
I'm not sure about those statistics, but so there's no like laws specifically against blacks or whites like that.
When it comes to systemic racism, it's not necessarily about laws. That can be one of them. But when it comes to system, like things that are in the system, all it has to be is enough people or the system itself is biased against a group of people. It doesn't necessarily have to be a law.
So you're basically judging based on outcomes?
We based on outcomes and the data that we have, not just the outcome of this is that thing, therefore it must be racist. We look at why it's happening, and we try to equalize it as much as possible. And if the outcome still comes out to be disparate, even if we make things as equal as possible, then the only explanation there is bias. Would you like a example of what I'm talking about?
Sure.
All right. So the Veil of Darkness study, right? What it did, it looked at about 100 million traffic stops across the United States. They controlled for everything. They controlled for the color of the car, even. They controlled the crime in the area. They control what type of stop it was going to be. They controlled for as much as they can, right? And what they found is that in the morning, black drivers were stopped more. They were stopped twice as much as white drivers. But then when it was at night, when it's harder to see who's driving, when it's hard to see the race of the driver, the traffic stops equaled out. That was proof positive that black drivers are being targeted. They're the ones being stopped the most. They're targeting them for stops. Not only that, the study found that the black drivers were searched more often, even though they were less likely to have anything on them, like drugs or guns or anything like that. Black drivers are less likely to have those. White drivers are more likely to have those, but black drivers were stopped more. So that shows a clear bias.
Wait, you said black drivers are less likely to have what did you say?
Drugs, guns, something illegal on them. They were less likely to have those, but they were still stopped more.
I don't believe that.
Why do you believe that black people are criminals?
What did you say? What was your question? Why do I
do you
believe that black people?
people are criminals?
Not all black people.
I know that, but
I
when I
think
told
that
you, when I
if
told you
I
that,
see-
when I told you that black drivers were less likely to have something criminal on them and were stopped more, you say you don't believe that. So I'm asking you, why do you think black people are criminals?
Just from crime data, crime statistics.
Crime data shows that the majority of crime is committed by white people in this country. Obviously,
Yeah.
because they're the majority.
Yeah, they are the majority. Yeah,
Right.
but per capita, who commits more?
Per capita is not the per capita rate. The per capita only tells you the rate. It doesn't tell you who's doing it more. Because capita's patrol is affected by your population.
Yeah. So blacks are 13% of the population,
Mhm.
and how much percent of the crimes are they committing?
Around 25. Well, if you look at
I
our,
believe it's closer to 38.
are you going off of arrest data?
Yeah.
Arrest data is around 20 to 35.
And then what percent of the murders?
About 52.
Isn't that crazy or no?
Yeah, it's a high amount. Is murder the only crime?
No.
Okay, so when we look at all the other crimes, who are the majority of those?
Majority and like per capita, there's a difference. Obviously, whites should be the majority for all of them because they make up 60%.
Mhm. Right,
But blacks are only 13%.
And make up
they are like overrepresented, like double, you know. And if you take it down even further,
double in what?
They like percentage rates,
And
like
what?
most of the time in crimes, all the crimes.
Wrong.
Okay, well, either ways, if you take it even further, like say black men, they're only 6% of the population, and the black men 6% commit 52% of the murders.
Black men commit 52% of murders.
Yeah.
Do you know who's exonerated from majority of the murders?
I'm guessing probably whites. Is
Black
that your
men.
point?
I said exonerated. I said
exonerated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if we're
50%, yeah.
If we represent
50%.
If we represent 50% of the arrest, but also 50% of the exonerations,
yeah,
doesn't
and how
that mean
many
that
times
50%
does the
number?
exoneration happen?
Hold on. Doesn't that mean that 50% number might be skewed?
No, because
Okay,
how many
why
times?
not?
How many times is it wrong?
How many
Like
times?
how
is it
many
wrong?
times?
A lot.
How many times are crimes wrong?
A lot.
Roughly?
The United
No?
States has
How
a
mu-
history. Hold on. The United States has a history of falsely convicting black people. That's an objective history.
But how many times out of convicting someone is it wrong? Not just blacks, just out of all crimes. Do you know?
I'm not sure. Maybe 10,
I believe it's
maybe
less than
25%.
5%. Less than 5%.
Even though if it's less than 5%, that's fine. But the problem is that we're looking at two data sets, right? 50% of the arrests for murder, 50% of the exonerations for murder. So that means that the arrest data may be wrong, right? And not only that, you have to take into consideration that black people are more policed,
But
even when they're hold on. Black people are more policed, even when the black community has lower crime. There's still more police presence. So what does that tell you?
what you're saying doesn't add up. Okay, you 50% out of the exonerations are blacks.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that the exonerations are such a big number.
Right,
what percent of the murders get exonerated?
You're not understanding my point. Not understanding my point.
Yeah, I understand your point.
All right.
I understand your point.
So, but you can say
they
it's
are
not
more
adding
likely
up.
to be wrong about blacks.
Right, they're more likely to be wrong about blacks. Exactly. So
But-
that means that hold on.
Okay.
Listen. So that means that the arrest data is also skewed because you need to be arrested before you're convicted. Duh. So that means the arrest data can also be wrong. You also have to take into the fact that black people are over policed. Because again, even when a black neighborhood has low crime, it still has high police presence. So that means that the black people are being over policed. Police are not a force for
I
good.
don't understand this point. Like over policed. Like why would you not want police in your area?
Because police are not a force for good. They've only harassed us.
I just think believing that it's just not good.
Sure, you can believe that is not good, but the history of police and black people in this country, is it a good history or not? We have a reason to not trust them.
It's been painted bad.
Grim has been painted bad. Some of the police were the KKK. That's painting bad.
Like I'm talking about nowadays, not history. Yes,
like, there's
like if you want to talk about
in recent
60
history.
years ago,
in recent history, there was a police department in Alabama where every single member was a neo-Nazi. That happened back in 2018, 2019. In recent history,
like
the
that's
entire
like less than
hold on, listen. The entire police department were neo-Nazis. Over in California, there's a sheriff gang called the Vikings. They're neo-Nazis. There's been research into police departments in Boston, Chicago, Baltimore, Atlanta, Houston, Miami that show racial bias towards the black people. In Minneapolis, the recent study that was done under the Trump administration showed that Minneapolis was basically a criminal syndicate and they were targeting black people on purpose. It was Trump's own Department of Justice that found that. So yeah, police are not a good presence for black people. When you take all these into consideration, can you see why black people won't trust police? When every major city shows that the police departments target black people, even in crime, and even areas where the crime isn't high. Hold on, right? I understand that you don't think anybody shouldn't trust police, but you just said that anybody should. Okay, I understand that you think that not every. I understand that you think that everybody should not trust police. Is that what you think?
Yes, I think you should know your rights, know your laws. Know if they can pull you over or not. Record every stop for corruption. Like I'm not saying corruption isn't existent. I'm saying that it doesn't cause this much damage. Okay, so do you blame everything like where the blacks are nowadays? Do you blame that all on systemic racism? You think that's all because of systemic racism?
All right, number one, can you stop saying the blacks? But number two, when it comes to
what do you want me to say instead?
Black people. The blacks kind of mix as objects, but when it comes to where black people are today, the wealth gap is 100% because of systemic racism, and we can prove that.
Do you think a wealthier family has something to do with like 2-parent households?
No. Do
you think that if
wealth
in this country,
wealth in this country was built systemically racist? Have you heard of redlining?
Yes, I have. That was in the 50s.
I understand that was in the 50s, but that's how the wealth gap happened. And every single study shows this. It wasn't because whites had 2-parent households. Because back in those days, black people black people also had 2-parent households back in those days.
Okay, but nowadays, now you can see
nowadays it's because of redlining. Because
like a married couple compared to a single family.
I know that. I understand that. I know that, and I understand that. What I'm talking about is the wealth gap was created through redlining, not through even today.
But even nowadays,
listen, bro. Redlining still affects us today. The wealth gap came from redlining. It didn't come from 2-parent households. It came from redlining.
Okay, but nowadays, like 2-parent households, like married couples, like black people are less likely to have be a married couple.
I understand that. Waden. What I'm saying is that when it comes to the 2-parent household, the wealth gap wasn't created from the 2-parent household. It was created from redlining. You just can't say black people are not as wealthy today because of 2-parent households. That's not the reason. It's because of redlining. Redlining caused it, not lack of 2-parent households.
So you think something that happened 70 years ago
affects us today? Correct.
That's bizarre.
You understand that history doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? You get that. Where do most black people live in America? Where do most of them live?
Poor areas.
No, I'm talking about which region in the country do they live?
I'm not sure.
most black people in this country live in the South. Can you take a guess of why that is? Where was slavery? Yeah,
In the
so
South?
so something that happened 200 years ago, you can still see it today. The slavery was in the South, and most black people still live in the South.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. History doesn't happen in a vacuum, bro. What happens back then still affects you today.
What do you think about Nigerians?
What about them? They cool folks.
Nigerians are wealthier than Black Americans.
Yeah, a lot of the Nigerians that immigrate are immigrated over here like as doctors or lawyers already. Like they graduated in the UK or Nigeria as a doctor or a lawyer. They move over here and they get a job as a doctor or a lawyer. Yeah, they're gonna be wealthy. They're gonna be
What
wealthy.
skin color are they?
They're black. But did you hear about what I said about how they
I
immigrate
heard
over
you.
here?
I heard you. I heard you.
Okay, so yeah,
So,
if they're
so
if you
why
have a
are they
group of if you have
successful?
because they were already doctors and lawyers in their country. What do you mean?
Yeah, and then they came over here and had kids, and their kids are still successful,
Yeah,
and
because
they are successful overall compared to Black Americans.
Because if you it that's you actually just proved my point that history doesn't happen in a vacuum. They were already wealthy, right? No, not wealthy, but they were already well off, well educated. They came over here, so they
But
got
the
a job.
systemic
Hold on,
racism.
let me finish. They got a job that they were still that was a high paying job, and then their kids grew up in well off environments, so they can get high paying jobs. They still suffer from systemic racism, by the way. Like Nigerian. Give me a second.
Ali.
Hey, Ali, give me a second. So the African immigrants, specifically Nigerians, the ones who move over here and grow up in poor areas, guess what happens to those kids? They have the same statistics as Black Americans. My parents are Haitian, for example, right? When Haitians first came over here, we saw the exact same thing. They came over here with skills, etc., and they were having more money than Black Americans. Then my generation was born, and then what happened? Those Haitians who were born in poor areas, they had the same outcomes as Black Americans.
So
positive of
anyone
racism.
born in poor areas has the same outcomes. It's like not just blacks. Whites born in poor areas have
Correct.
similar outcomes.
Correct.
Like you want to call Mexicans born in poor areas have the same outcomes.
Correct. Well, we're just
So-
talking about systemic racism, though. We're not talking about like discrimination against classes, income.
Yeah, classes.
Yeah. So there is class discrimination. I'm not denying there's class discrimination. Of course there is.
Yeah, so I don't understand your point. So systemic racism, that means by race, yeah?
Yeah.
So
there's
why
still
are
bias against
Nigerians
people.
successful today?
Again, the ones who were who came over here
So
as
you're talking about
professionals.
classes, though.
Hey,
you're talking about classes.
You can let me finish.
Sure.
The ones who came over that already had the education, that already had the skills, they're more likely to get high paying jobs. That's what happens. What also happens is that that we've seen multiple times in multiple studies, when there's a Black applicant and a white applicant, if the Black applicant even has more experience and skills, we still get the fact that the white applicant is more likely to get called. So that doesn't mean that no Black people can get a job, or that it's impossible for Black people to be successful. No one is saying that, bro. No one's saying it's impossible. What we're saying is that just having this skin color makes it more difficult. No one says it's impossible. So yeah, when Nigerians come over here, it's possible for them to do it because a lot of them are doctors, lawyers, bankers, engineers, et cetera, et cetera. So they're more likely to have that, right? But when it comes to Black African American society, where their neighborhoods were redlined, where their schooling is not as well, where they were deliberately made to be poor, you'll get less of them who are doctors, lawyers, engineers, bankers, etc. Right?
Do you think Black people, Black culture is like focusing on the best things
Yes.
for their kids?
Yes.
Did you know that when an NBA player went to Black only schools, what percent of them do you think wanted to be a sports player or an NBA player or a basketball player?
I don't know. That's relevant.
What?
I do not know, but that's
But-
irrelevant.
Wait, why is that relevant? They are focusing on trying to become an NBA player.
You're saying that black culture
Like,
focuses
okay,
on being
90%, 90%.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Are you really claiming here that black people focus on being NBA players as a cultural thing? Is that what you're really saying?
I say they value that a lot more than.
That's stupid, bro. And
You think so?
wait, and not only that's stupid, that's extremely racist. You're saying that entire culture of people focus on being basketball players. Do you know how fucking dumb that
No,
sounds?
not focus. I'm saying the kids want to. Like, that's what they.
Every kid wants
try
to
to
be
do.
famous. Every kid wants to be a basketball player, but that doesn't mean that that's a cultural thing that we do, that we focus on playing basketball. You know how fucking stupid that sounds? It's extremely racist, bro. I'm pretty sure you're saying to yourself that you're not a racist, but what you just said is extremely racist. Listen how dumb that sounds. Black people want to be basketball players. Come on, bro. All right, waiting. We're go ahead and I'm out of time, but I do appreciate you. Hey, shout out to Gallus Engineer. I appreciate y'all over on the Deconstruction Junction. Don't think that I missed y'all. I appreciate y'all. I do appreciate the super chats that came in. Appreciate it from MC that says redlining is the answer. Correct. Redlining ended in 1968, not the 50s. That's also correct. And people were still doing redlining even after that. Appreciate you, MC. Also, there's another one super chat I want to read. There are more black doctors than athletes. Correct. Thank you so much, MC, for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you. Let me check over here on the Black Atheist Coalition. We got anybody? Oh yeah, we got plenty of people over on the Black Atheist Coalition who are telling me to shut up. But yeah, none of y'all calling in, so that's one thing. And over on the Deconstruction Junction, I appreciate y'all over there. All right. Deconstruction. I mean, talking about Volcy Thoughts over on the Volcy Thoughts channel. I appreciate y'all over there. We're gonna go ahead and keep the ball rolling, keep it moving. Give me just 1 second, y'all. I do got someone on the line. All right, 416, you're on the line now. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Ali.
Ali, okay. Ali as in OLLI or ALI?
ALI.
ALI, all right. Can I get your age, Ali?
I am 35.
35. All right, Ali 35. What did you disagree with that I have on the board?
I was actually told to call in by my peer. I wanted to establish what the definition of woke is. What do you think woke is?
All right, so I go by the original definition of woke, which is awareness of racial and social injustice, particularly amongst black people, against black people.
I don't see anything wrong with that. Actually, right. As a person of color myself, and a physician, I don't see anything wrong with that. Right.
So that's what woke means. Whatever the conservatives came up with, they just did it to be racist.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Okay, cool.
Wait, I was told to call in. I didn't know. Let me see. Are your 4 points things I have to argue with? Because I pretty much agree with your points. I don't think the breadth of the knowledge is there for your viewers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. If you don't disagree, that's all good and well. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, thank you very much.
No problem, Ollie. Have a good one. All right, y'all. I do appreciate y'all. Just really quickly, we're gonna get to the next guest. Godis, we're gonna get to you in a second. Give me a second, all right? I see on my phone that it's pushing it over. Let me push it back for a second. All right, that looks better, right, guys? Because over on my phone, I see that it was pushing it out the screen. I think that looks better. All right, cool. That should look better. All right, how's it going, Godis? Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. So quick shout out. I appreciate everybody being here. Keep the taps on the screen going. I definitely appreciate y'all over on the Black Atheist Coalition. We got a lot of people talking, but y'all, I cannot read what y'all saying. So over on the Black Atheist Coalition, if you would like to come up on the board, go ahead and call in. If you're watching me from Facebook, a shout out to you. And if you're watching me from Instagram, shout out to you as well. I appreciate all y'all who are here. If you're watching me from the YouTubes, Shout out to you there as well. Golders, give me 1 second. Let me just put this person on hold.
Call from.
Okay.
Hey, how's it going? 614. Can I get your name and age, please?
Boy, I go by Gen, Gen. I'm 30 years old.
All right. Did you disagree with something I had on the board?
Boy, I wanted an explanation for what you mean by God, because that's an English Germanic word.
Gotcha.
And that then it almost always refers to the Abrahamic God.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hold on for me. Hold on for me.
Oh.
All right. Goldus, I appreciate you being patient. Are you at least 18? And did you disagree with something I had on the board?
Yes and yes.
All right.
What's your argument for 4?
For what?
For the 4th proposition here.
The 4th proposition. Yeah, no, there's no good evidence for a God. I'm talking about like basically something that's empirical, testable, demonstrable, things like that. I don't think arguments are in any evidence at all. They're just arguments. Yeah, you can logically deduce things, et cetera, but at a certain point you can't define things into existence. You're gonna have to have some sort of something to verify it, right? We didn't argue the fact that atoms existed. People postulate that atoms existed and then we verified it. So we need something to verify that a God is either exist or likely to exist, and we've never done that.
So do you believe deductive arguments are valid?
Deductive arguments, for some things they can be valid, sure.
Okay, why would it not be valid for this?
Because again, you're making a claim of like reality, right? So we need something to verify it.
For metaphysical things?
If it's metaphysical, we can't verify it.
Right. So what's the argument that you can't deduce metaphysical things?
I'm saying that you can't deduce it. I'm saying you can't verify it. There's no good evidence to think that it exists.
So if you can logically deduce something, does that not make it the case?
No.
What?
I can logically deduce that Olodumare is the God of reality. Does that mean that Olodumare exists?
Is it a sound argument?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's not. It wouldn't be sound, and that's the same thing with a God. You can make the argument. Doesn't mean it's sound.
Do you not believe there are sound arguments
for a God?
Yeah.
No.
How do you know that?
No one has given it to me.
That's just a pill to ignorance.
Cool. So give me a sound argument.
Well, you're being very fallacious. You're not really defending your proposition very well.
Give me a sound argument.
Don't holy burden shift, bro. What? That's another fallacy.
No, you said, do I think there's any sound arguments for a God? And I said I've never heard any, so no.
You said no, there isn't because you haven't heard any. That
correct. That's what I just said.
That's an appeal to ignorance.
Cool. It could be an appeal to ignorance.
You can't affirm something.
Sure, Goldis. It can be an appeal to ignorance. So do you have a sound argument then?
You're being very fallacious. You said no.
All right. We're going to go ahead and move on to another person who's not going to waste my time. All right. So, Gin, how's it going, Gin? You asked me, what do I mean by God, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm talking about the one from classical Abrahamics.
Okay. Yeah. That I just needed a clarification because the paradigm upon which we live is already screwed up enough as to where we're fighting or we're arguing against a mute point, because that God or Yahweh is specifically subscribed to Semitic people, but your audience is Black people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like they're arguing for a God that's not there, but in a reality they should be arguing whether God exists. But by the nature of physics itself, the creator exists. Not a person, not an ego, but the forces that pushes existence exist. You know what I mean?
The forces
the
forces that push existence exist?
Yeah, like gravity, the outside of matter is antimatter.
Okay.
It's a literal endless vacuum outside of space.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Reality.
Yeah, sure. I think we can.
Yeah.
I think we can say that. I think we can say that. I just want to call it a God in my opinion, but yeah, we can say that. Sure.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a God either because that word is so misused. Mm-hmm. It doesn't give, just like how we use English, it doesn't give Black people the actual full range of emotional expression or cultural expression for that matter.
Okay.
It's just like Creole or any other broken Eurocentric language. It doesn't give the people an actual authentic way. It's a Frankenstein way of discovering or deducing truth by using the word God or,
Gotcha.
those
All right.
type of old ass terms.
Gotcha. All right. I appreciate you though again.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Call
618.
from
All right. 618. How's it going? Can I get your name and age, please?
Yeah, Jerry.
Jerry. And at least 18.
What was that? Sorry.
Are you at least 18?
Yes, sir.
All right. What did you disagree with?
Well, I have to understand the terms first. When you were saying woke, how would you define woke?
All right. Give me a second, Jerry, because I had someone that was in front of you. I just needed to know what you disagree with. I'll be right back with you. All right.
All right.
All right. We're going to be talking to Ying Drake. Ying Drake, how's it going? You said that woke is reductive. Why is that? Actually, hold on. Are you at least 18?
First of all, I'm 23. Yep.
23. Okay, cool.
I know how this works. Yeah, so, well, this goes straight to what the previous caller just said. Well, I say previous, the one that's just on about what woke is. So I would say woke is the expansion of the socialist means of analysis past that of economics, but to any sort of relationship, especially social ones.
All right. Well, I'm not sure why that would be the definition and not the one I gave, the awareness of racial and social injustice, particularly amongst Black Americans or towards Black Americans.
Well, because that's more accurate of what it is. It's looking at specific groups saying like, oh, white people oppress Black people, or straight people oppress gay people, or cis people oppress trans people, right?
Right. Or it's basically that Black people are systematically oppressed, and the ones doing that, are from the dominant society, from white people. Not
Okay,
like
well,
every individual.
Why do you believe woke needs to be systemic?
Why does woke need to be systemic? That's literally where it came from.
Is it?
Yeah. Like stay woke has a history amongst Black Americans. Like, you know that.
That doesn't mean that having a history amongst Black Americans doesn't mean it has a history of that being what the word means in general.
It is, because like when Black people started saying it, that's what they were talking about, the systemic discrimination that they were facing in society. So that's where it came from. It came from systemic oppression.
Well, it's purely systemic, because that's not what I've heard before. Yes, I would say.
I mean, there is systemic and there's systemic and there's relational, right? Like relational, like discrimination, like understanding that this person, like for example, when people do microaggressions, like, oh, you speak so well, you know what I mean, or surprised that you're educated, or you're pretty for a Black girl, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Those are not really compliments. Those are like things that those are built upon racial, like racially denigrative assumptions. Like, you're pretty for a Black girl is basically saying that Black people can't be pretty. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Or, you speak so well for a Black man is the assumption that Black man can't speak well. Now, it comes from a systemic reason, right? Like, it was made that way for white people to understand that about Black people due to the education system and segregation, which are systems, right? But it's still an interpersonal thing. So when people say, hey, stay woke, they're not really complimenting you, they're insulting you, or what they're saying is still denigrative because of that. That's where that comes from, right? Like, it goes back to a systemic base. Does all that make sense?
Okay, so I would say then still viewing things through a woke lens is even more reductive than using your systemic lens, because your systemic version of the lens, because then you're reducing everything else about the character just down purely to systemic oppression, which clearly isn't.
What do you mean by the character? If a person has racial ideas, then that came from somewhere.
Sure. I am a straight white man. However, I am so much more than just that. If you treat me through the woke lens, you will see me as a straight white man, probably some other characteristics as well, cis, for instance.
Not necessarily, man. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But I am more than that. I am me.
Mm-hmm.
By treating me through this lens of seeing me as my identities, as opposed to seeing me as a person, you are reducing me down to a series of identities, as opposed to seeing me as a person.
That's not what woke is. Woke is not a framework for seeing people or treating people.
That is exactly what woke is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's never been that. That's what conservatives made up. That's what white liberals made up. But that's never been what it was. It was simply being aware of a social injustice, of racial injustice, being aware of how racism works, being aware that, you know, how you'll be treated in this society, and things that people say to you. A lot of it can have a racial background, or racial undertones. That's where it comes from. It's simply being aware of basically the Southern strategy. You know what I mean? When white conservatives talk about law and order,
I think you have a very Americanized view on
hold on. Of course, because that's where it came from. So when white conservatives, hold on. When white conservatives in America talk about law and order, we know that they're not talking about simply, you know, having peace and making sure that the police are keeping the peace. They're talking about controlling black people. That's where it came from. So it's not, you know, you're a white cis male, therefore you're a racist, and therefore you'll treat me bad. That's not what woke is. Now, if that's what people over in the UK used it for, then sorry, I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, I mean, but that's not what it is.
That's not quite what I said. I didn't say because you're a straight white man, you're racist, sexist, whatever. I said simply viewing me as a straight white man as opposed to a person is reductive, because you are taking away all the other parts of my character to simply view me as that sum of characteristics.
No, but again, it's not. You are a straight white man. That doesn't mean anything else about you.
Sure, but I'm more than that.
I know that you're more than that, but I don't know you.
So reducing me down to that is reductive.
But I didn't know. I just
literally just said that.
But no, it's not. I said that you are a straight white male, but I don't know anything else about you. I didn't make any judgment about you. I just know that you're a straight white male. That's it. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean. Hold on, listen.
You're using a white framework to reduce me down.
Hold on,
you are being reductive in your argument.
You need to be quiet for a second, bro. It is a fact of the matter. The way that we use language nowadays, you're a straight white man. I'm a straight black man. That's just the facts of the matter. That doesn't mean anything else about us. We don't know each other. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean anything else about us. But simply saying the fact that, yes, you are a straight white man, that is a fact of the way that we use language nowadays. It is a fact that you're a straight white man, a straight white male. That's it. We're not saying that's all you are, but it is a fact that, yeah, that's part of who you are.
By simply calling me that, as opposed to simply calling me a person, you are being reductive. You're reducing down my character.
I disagree, because that's not about your character. That's simply that's simply how we identify people nowadays. Nowadays, it's simply how we are how we're noticing what a person is. That person is white. That person is hold on. Yeehaw. That person is a white person. That person is a black person. That person is a Hispanic person. It says nothing about their character. It's just an attribute they have.
Wait, hold up. Those attributes, I would say, is part of their character.
No, it's not. You being white has nothing to do with your character. Zero. Hold on. So
I agree. I kind of agree.
Exactly.
Language thing.
But it's a language thing. But what I'm saying is that you're saying that just because we point out if a person is white or Hispanic or Martian, therefore making a deduction on their character. We're not. We're just pointing out an attribute of who they are. We don't know who they are.
By labeling them as such.
But just because you label someone as white, because that's the way that we use language nowadays, doesn't mean we say anything about their character.
It's
those are two different things, bro.
To label someone as that.
You can believe that all you want. That's fine. That's fine. I think we agree with each other on a point that the concept of race. I think we agree on the point that the concept of race is something that's social that we made up, right? But it's just a language convention that we have right now. That doesn't mean we're talking about your character. We're just saying, okay, this is how we label someone who has these physical attributes. White male. That's how we label them. That says nothing about your character, bro. Thinking that it does is kind of ridiculous.
I would say that this sort of labeling is inherent to the woke mindset, and as such, and this labeling is reductive as well, which means that the woke mindset is reductive.
That
because
label
you are
existed.
looking at someone.
That label existed before woke was a thing.
That is true, but that doesn't mean they aren't intertwined.
They're not. It existed before woke was a thing. So the thing is what you're talking about is that, yeah, white supremacy made that up, right? So white supremacy is reductive. You understand? You agree with that, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Right, exactly. So what woke was a reaction to it, saying that, hey, white supremacy built a system like this, and we got to be aware of it. That's what woke is. You could be woke.
I don't view things through the lens, which at least modern way. So you're using like the woke definition from like the 30s, pretty much, right?
Well, to the 30s all the way up until now, and then white people came around.
No, I disagree with that because there has been some evolution, which I think is the sort of definition I'm referring to here.
There has been evolution of it, but the evolution that white conservatives took was to be racist. There was no actual evolution.
No. Sorry, the evolution not done by conservatives. It was done by Marxian derivative work.
White liberals?
If you want to call Marxist liberals, I mean, that's...
Well, they'll be offended if I do that. So you're saying that
I wouldn't... Wait, hold up. What do you mean by liberal? Because there is two definitions.
Yeah. I'm talking about the typical American liberal. You know, from the Democrat, Clinton, Obama era. Those people.
Okay, so when I talk about liberals, there tends to be two definitions. One of them is said by socialists, meaning just anyone that supports capitalism. That's not what you're using, right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
So a lot of socialists I talk to would say that anyone that supports capitalism is a liberal.
Oh, okay.
Whereas
I'm not
anyone that follows the philosophical tree of who was Burke? No, it's not Burke. Oh,
when I say
Locke, even
when I'm talking about liberal, I'm talking about people who are basically the '90s Democrats of America. I'm not sure how long you've been in America.
Okay.
That's what. Yeah,
that works for this conversation.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. But I do understand when socialists say anyone who supports capitalism is a liberal. Yeah, I get that part. But I was talking colloquially or casually about like 90s Democrats.
Fair enough.
That's what I mean.
The point of words is to convey meaning. As long as I know your meaning, the word works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what I meant by liberal. I do know the socialist version of or how they describe liberal, but I was just using the colloquial version. Okay, but yeah, sure. Crap, I forgot where we were. So you say that?
Yeah, we're agreeing too much. We're losing our place.
Gotcha. So you're saying that liberals transformed it into a more reductive thing instead of what black people were saying about just being aware of social and racial injustice? No,
socialists did.
Oh, socialists changed it into something that's reductive.
Well, they started using it like that, and then that meaning grew from there because they.
So, all right. So let me try to.
Such an
I got you.
Like
so let me try to.
Socialist.
No, I got you. Let me try to understand. So
yeah, go ahead.
So your position is that socialists made woke into this reductive thing where your physical attributes also speak to your character.
Not quite speak to it. Well, you're reducing down someone from themselves as an individual to just a sum of their characteristics. So that those characteristics being like race, sex, gender, and so on.
And that's what white socialists did. They reduced everybody just to those physical attributes.
I'm not entirely sure if it was entirely white socialists. I don't pay attention to race that much.
Because I would say that was done by white supremacy way before they came along. The socialists came along. You know what I mean?
Do you have any white supremacists that did that? Like as an example?
Like white supremacy is literally that. Like you're just your physical attributes.
Well, no. It's a means of analyzing situations, right? It's looking at sort of a,
Call from
like, say, any sort of
Joshua Thomas.
gendered in.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, 972. I'm sorry. Can I get your name and age, please?
Joshua Thomas, 46.
Did you disagree with something I had on the board?
I do disagree with 3.
All right, gotcha. All right, pause for me real quick. I'm be right back with you. All right, give me a second.
All right, thanks.
All right, Ying, I think we're kind of past about the 15-minute mark at the moment, but go ahead, come on back, and we could parse some of this out. All right.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I'll just keep on listening. I'll try and remember all the sources because I mean I'm just pulling this from memory as opposed to
Not a
properly
problem.
sourced. It was nice talking to you. You're nice and polite. It's also
Gotcha.
it's nice just not being kicked for disagreeing with you. That's
Yeah, no problem. All right.
far too many people do that.
Yeah,
Well,
gotcha. All right,
goodbye.
see you soon. All right, who we have? Bitter Truth. Have we spoken before, Bitter Truth?
Yeah, I spoke before.
All right, what did you disagree with?
So there's no evidence for God, but I came to like say something that this came to my mind. But yeah, I'm gonna speak on number 4. So like recently, I've been asking myself, not recently, but like why is a lot of people deconstructing? And I'm just noticing that I'm just noticing a lot of more and more people. And I was thinking to myself, like, why? Like, and then an event happened today where Netanyahu said, like, the Messiah will soon come. And we know he doesn't mean Jesus. And then God said, go to 2 Thessalonians 2. And I'll read it. So in 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, meaning the return of Christ, except they come a falling away first, meaning many atheists, and that man of sin be revealed. So I'm seeing Netanyahu saying the Messiah is soon to come. And I'm seeing many atheists, and God said that day is coming. This verse I'm reading is here. It's about to come. And this man that will, and this man that will be, the man of sin, here's what he would do. He would exalt himself above all that is God, because he claimed to be the Messiah, or that worship. So I'm seeing many atheists and Netanyahu that Christ is soon to come. So you still have time to repent. So
all right.
The man of sin.
All right. So Joshua, how's it going, Joshua? You said that you disagree with number 3, correct?
No, number 1, I agree with number 2. Number 3, I disagree with, and number 4, I disagree with, and number 5, I disagree with. So I only agree with number 3.
All right. I'm sorry. You said you agree with
number 3? Number 2. Number 2.
All right. So
but in a different matter than. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So you agree with number 2, but disagree with number 3. That's kind of interesting. All right. So number 3, I think leftist policies are better for society because as far as the American left goes, we push for things such as universal health care, guaranteed housing, a reform of our infrastructure, a lot of basically investment into public transportation, walkable cities, parental leave, for parents could spend at least 6 months with their newborn children, paying for universal pre-K as well, universal daycare, things like that. I think those will be better for society. It brings families closer together. A higher a minimum wage that matches your cost of living of your area and pegged to inflation. It puts more money into people's pockets. And it not only that, it allows people to have one income households again, stuff like that. So I also believe in reconstructing zoning laws in order for us to have more mixed family housing, stuff like that.
Okay, very articulate. How I would respond to that is, I think that the policies, as far as the leftist policies are being woke, maybe. And you sound like a nice gentleman, so maybe it sounds good. It sounds good, and it is good. It is the good thing to do to help everyone. But it creates a welfare state. It creates an ongoing, consistent welfare state of people that they grow into it knowing they don't have to work. They're born and raised knowing they don't have to work. They can have babies and they can get paid from the government for people like me
that have to work. And I'm a single parent as well. I don't have any help. Raised my kids by myself for over 11 years, but I still have to work full time. If I didn't want to, I could probably cry for help and say, hey, I'm a stay-at-home dad. Please give me money. And they may or they may not do it. But the point is, do you want to be on welfare and EBT and I mean, have Section 8 housing and be poor and live off tax returns?
Gotcha. So everything that I just stated, it has nothing to do with being on EBT and not being not
it has
working,
everything
right?
to do with it because you're relying on the government.
Hold on. Having universal health care doesn't mean you're going to be on EBT and rely on the government. It doesn't mean that, because there are several countries who do literally everything that I just said, and people work in those countries, right? Like, not everyone, half the population isn't living off of the government in France or in Switzerland. They're all working. Or in Norway, they're all working, right? That doesn't happen over there. So it's like everything that I just mentioned wouldn't be something where people are just lazing off the government and working and, leeching off of, hardworking single fathers. As a matter of fact, under what I want, you would get help. You would get like parental leave to spend more time with your kids.
And I think that's great. But at the same time, I also have to make a living. And I want my son to see me work hard. I want my son to see me growing up and busting my butt and working hard. I don't want him to see me as somebody who just takes what the government's going to give me and rides it out. I don't want to be seen as lazy. I don't want to be seen like that.
What I'm saying is that that's not the case. Just because you have parental leave and can spend 6 months with your kids a year, or like 6 months with your newborn son or daughter, doesn't mean that you're lazy and taking what the government wants because you're a parent. You know how hard that is.
I don't hate that policy. I actually agree with that policy. That specific policy, I think I agree with it. So that's not where I'm going with it. I'm going with the fact that we pay taxes, okay, federal taxes that Democrats implemented into the system in 1920. Actually, Abraham Lincoln did it in the Civil War, but it was temporary. And then in the 1920s, the Democrats introduced federal taxes, but it's not backed up by gold. It's all fake. It's all printed money. It's not real. Yet I got to pay $25,000 of my 80 grand that I make a year in taxes and in Social Security and in Medicaid. And the reason that I have to do that is so everyone else on the woke side doesn't have to do anything.
That's wrong.
Why I do that.
That's wrong. Because guess what? I'm on the woke side and I make just about as much as you make, and I pay about as much as taxes as you make as well. So we're both doing that, right? Like when it comes to something like universal health care, it wouldn't be, they're taking taxes from us in order to give to people who don't work. Everyone is going to be able to get universal health care, all of us, including you, which means you can get off your jobs, your job's health care, the one that takes, money out of your paycheck, just and use the government systems, use the single payer one.
The only thing that I worry about that is any country that's tried to do universal health care has failed, including Canada.
France didn't fail.
Epically failed.
France didn't fail.
So it's like Canada comes to the United States to get their surgery.
I understand.
They don't do it in Canada.
I understand. But this is what I'm saying, Joshua. France didn't fail. Switzerland didn't fail. Norway didn't fail. Japan didn't fail. China didn't fail. So it clearly works somehow, some way. What would be a difference between them and us?
Okay. Can I do a curveball?
Sure.
I want to ask you a question. Do you think right now in America, the left and the right can unite against this completely, utterly disgusting situation that I don't even want to say his name has put us into as far as a foreign war? I mean, if we can't come together on that,
we should tell you the truth.
No, I absolutely agree. And if the left is, as much as they disagree with the right, and as much as the right, vice versa, we're all in agreement when it comes to this war that that we did. That, I don't want to get too political, but surely we can unite over that. And I think that may be the start of us actually being able to communicate, because you're the only, I'm assuming you're liberal, I don't know, but you're the only liberal that I could ever have a conversation with. Most of them, they are crazy eyes, they scream, they go crazy, which is a sickness. It's a sickness, and I've seen it with my own eyes. And I hate Trump. I'm not a Trump fan, but I am a right winger. But I've seen people they have derangement syndrome and they've lost their minds. There's no coming back from that. So thank God you're not one of them, because you seem to still have your intellect and your wits.
Here's what I would say. I would say that most people on my side are that way, right? But that's because one thing I would say is that a lot of times the algorithm feeds you a certain narrative, and that's how you think most people are. But most people are not on the internet. I kind of am leaning towards the dead internet theory, where most people are actually not on there. They're out here having conversations, which is why I want to be here more to have these conversations, so you don't see the crazy eyed people, and you get more people who are like me. You know what I mean? Now that you're interacting with me, you may get more of that type of content, you know what I mean, into your feed. Or if you're not online and you're in real life and those people are acting crazy towards you, that if you're getting harassed, I don't want you to get harassed, right? That's something I want you to go
through. No, I'm not.
So
I'm not a victim. I'm not trying to claim victim status. No,
it's not that.
Yeah, it's refreshing to talk to someone from the other side who can actually articulate a sentence. Like, that's different. I haven't experienced that since 2016. I don't think that's happened. My dad was a lifelong Democrat. I grew up as a Democrat. He was a carpenter. He worked his whole life, retired as a carpenter. If he was alive today, which he's not, but if he was, there's no way he would vote Democrat. There's just no way.
I mean, when the thing is about me when it comes to Democrats, I think they're just too weak. It's not that they're crazy. They're too weak, in my opinion. They can't even get universal health care passed. Yeah, I mean, so in my opinion, they're actually just too weak and not really crazy. Everything that we hear that's, quote unquote crazy about them, and I'm like, okay, what exactly do they do or want? The only thing that I've ever gotten from the Trump folks is that, oh, they hate America, and I'm like, okay, how? You know what I mean? And the only thing they can tell is that, oh, they don't like Trump. Of course they don't. You know what I mean? The parties don't like each other. That's always going to happen. But when it comes to are they actually crazy or want to destroy America? That's not really in the cards. You know what I mean? They don't really do anything.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think when Trump tried to hide the Epstein files right in front of our faces, the entire right wing turned on him. And if you have MAGA people still claiming Trump, they're probably in their 60s or 70s and they don't really understand. But anyone under 50 on the far right is definitely not supporting Trump right now. And you might have a couple in the comments say, the MAGA. That's not true. And I'll tell you why. The entire right in this America doesn't support Israel. They do not.
And they haven't for a while.
The left,
I get that to y'all.
The left doesn't either. So we have that in common. And if that's not something that we can utilize to unite, because in 2026, we're not voting. We're all voting Democrat to prove a point.
Yeah,
and then in 2028, well, no, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I can speak for the majority of the gropers. But yeah, I mean, we're not going to be lied to and say, hey, we're not going into foreign wars. We're going to do this. We're going to build a wall. We're going to deport people. And then you don't even deport half of what Obama did in his tenure.
Yeah,
he was over 8 million.
Gotcha. That's because when it comes to Obama, like, it wasn't haphazard. One thing that I'll describe as Trump, and then I'm gonna have to move on because we're at that point.
Sure,
so
no problem.
But yeah, when it comes to Obama, like, one thing I say about Trump is that he's doing haphazardism, basically just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks, which is why the majority of people who are either in ICE detention centers or deported never committed a violent crime. You know what I'm saying? Obama was specifically targeting the people who were committing violent crimes. You see what I'm saying? I think it was done a lot more smoother and efficiently, which is why he was able to get more people deported. Now, that doesn't mean that the ICE centers under Obama were any better. One thing I always tell people on the left, they were not any better, y'all. A lot of these separating children and putting them in these horrible conditions. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so it wasn't any better, y'all. Yeah, I mean, so we have to criticize Obama on that. But I do give him that it was a little bit more efficient. But hey, listen, Joshua, I do got to move on to somebody else. I appreciate you though. Definitely come back in
No
and talk
problem.
to me.
It
All right,
was great conversation. You have a great night.
you as well. All right, give me 1 second, Wicks. I'm sorry, your name is Zim. Give me 1 second, Zim. I'm gonna be right with you. All right, give me 1 second. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody who's watching me now. We're at 10K likes, y'all. Keep on tapping that screen, and I do have a gift goal. I will yeehaw every time someone gives me a hat and mustache, and I appreciate y'all. If you watch me over on the Black Atheist Coalition, y'all, the phone number is right there. Let me know if you want to go. Yeehaw. Let me know if y'all want to go ahead and talk to me. Yeehaw. Let me go. Y'all want to go ahead and talk to me over on the on my channel, Volcy Thoughts. Red Mirror Media is a friendly. Do not block them. Do not block or delete Red Mirror Media, please. That is one of my friendlies, please. Don't block or delete their comments. I appreciate y'all. All right, over on the Deconstruction Junction, y'all, big W on the numbers, big W on those views. I appreciate y'all. Big W on the super chats as well. I appreciate y'all. Go ahead and keep liking, keep the conversation going. If you'd like to talk to me, phone number's right there. Really, really appreciate you. Over on Facebook, if you're watching me from Facebook, I appreciate you there as well. Keep on the likes. And if you're watching me from Twitch or Instagram, y'all are wonderful. I appreciate you. All right. We're going to talk to Zim. Zim, is that how you say your name? Let me invite you to unmute.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Zim, all right. Zim, give me a second. I just got to go ahead and put this person on hold.
Call from
870, you there?
I'm here.
All right. Can I get your name and age, please?
37 Charles.
Charles, 37. Did you disagree with something I had on the board?
Say again.
Did you disagree with something I had on the board?
Yeah, I do. I think there's good evidence for God.
Okay, so number 4. All right, I'm going to be right back with you, Charles. I got somebody on my TikTok. You're going to hear hold music. I'll be right back, all right?
Okay.
Appreciate you. All right, Zim, thank you for being patient. Are you at least 18, and what did you disagree with?
Yeah, bro. I'm 26.
26. Okay, cool. Zim, 26. What did you disagree with and why?
I mean, I didn't really disagree. I just had a question because it said you're Haitian and you don't believe in God.
Yeah, 100%. I think Haitians need to deconstruct from Christianity as a whole.
Do you believe in any type of like spiritual thing at all or not?
No.
So based off like, were you born in Haiti or not?
I was born in the States.
So my question would be based off like the evidence of like the type of spiritual stuff they be doing over there in Haiti. You don't think there's no type of
No, it's all fake.
You think it's all fake?
Yeah, no one was turned into a cat. No one was turned into a cow. No one was risen from the dead. What they do is they actually do chemical. There actually is chemistry in voodoo and hoodoo, right? That actually does exist. And there actually is a powder that can slow your heart rate down. And to the point where, it looks like you don't have a heartbeat. And that powder actually makes you more suggestive, meaning that you can push the person to do whatever, you want them to do, which, makes them a zombie. That's where the term zombie came from. You know what I mean? So that right there is an actual real thing. But are they actual real people who were dead and then rose again? No. Because I'll always say this. If voodoo was real, France would not be one of the most powerful countries in the world right now. It just wouldn't.
Why do you say that?
Because we got our freedom from France. We would have cursed them.
I mean, cursing them on a mass scale, I don't think that's what they was trying to accomplish, though. I think they was just trying to get them out of
their freedom.
Haiti,
exactly. They were trying to get their freedom. But like, you really think like those people who were enslaved by this country wouldn't curse that country? They'll curse that country, bro.
I mean, France is pretty. I mean, they got some weird stuff going on over there,
France always has protests. That's one thing. That's what we could take from them. They always have protests. But like, yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, no, voodoo's not real either. Now I respect it because it came from my ancestors. Yeah, I mean, 100% respect it. I 100% understand, the symbolism in it. Yeah, I mean, but is Papa Legba a real person that I go to in order to, go to the crossroads or anything. Nah, it's not a real person.
So why even respect it if it's not real?
You can still respect traditions. You can still respect the spiritual aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, my parents are still Christians. So when we meet up and we're having a dinner and they want to pray, I'm not going to sit there and play video games all loud or talk on the phone while they're praying. I'm going to respect the tradition and just stand there and be quiet while they pray and stuff. I'm not going to disrespect them. So like, it's the same thing. This came from our ancestors. This is something that that people use as a spiritual practice. So I can still respect it, but that doesn't mean I think it's real.
Man, I kind of understand what you're saying. I guess you're an atheist, but you're not one of them, like, I guess, I don't know how to describe it.
Like anti-theist?
Yeah, like blaspheming types.
No, I'm not an anti-theist. I only blaspheme when I get a Christian up here who's like very, very rude. Then I'll blaspheme just to annoy them. But other than that, like I'll respect it. That's not a problem. I respect people. If someone believes in Jesus, because I have friends who are Christian, right? I even have people who are my supporters, my subscribers that are also Christian. I don't. Whenever they come up and speak to me, like, it's more on the lines of how we view the world, how we formulate our moralities, our interactions with other people, stuff like that. That's how we view them. Now they do it through the lens of Jesus, and I do it through the lens of empathy. And I say, I don't think we need Jesus. We have empathy, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how we discuss it. You know what I'm saying? So it can still be respectful as long as we respect each other. Now, if you disrespect me or dehumanize me, then, gloves are off at that point. And those Christians actually understand that. They get it. You know what I mean? So that makes sense to you? You still there, Zim?
Hold on, I got a baby.
Yeah, all right, cool. Congrats on being a father, by the way. All right, y'all. While he's dealing with that, once again, I appreciate everybody who is here. I appreciate y'all. Go ahead and keep hitting those likes. Resist. That's all right. If Red Mirror Media, if you're still there, there you are. Yeah, if you're still there, go ahead and comment. I appreciate y'all. All right. Subscribe to Red Mirror Media. I do shows with them. The episodes of the Weekly Dump come out every Wednesday. So go ahead and go to Red Mirror Media and subscribe to them. We record the shows and we drop them every Wednesday. It's your number 2 source for number 1 political commentary. I don't know the slogan yet. I don't know the slogan yet. All right, Zim, I appreciate you. All right. Now who else I have on stage? Just some guy. Give me a second. All right, because I do have someone over on the call line. Give me one moment. All right, appreciate you.
It's good.
All right. Charles, I appreciate you staying on hold for me. I'm sorry for the long wait. But you said that you think there is good evidence for a God. Is that right?
That's right.
All right, cool. What do you think that evidence is? And before you answer that, let me just let you know what I take as evidence. I don't really take philosophical arguments as evidence because you can't really argue your way to something existing. An example of this I would give is like, atoms, right? For scientists to show that atoms existed, they just didn't, do arguments or say, oh, we can deduce to this, et cetera, et cetera. They had to do something to verify that atoms exist. You see what I'm saying? So that's what and they have evidence of it through, physics and math and all that good stuff. That's what I mean by evidence.
I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first off, there's 4 categories that I could take you to. That you said no, we don't want to go philosophy, no personal experiences, I'm sure, and history. We can talk about that, but then there's also science. Now, science doesn't say that there's God or no God. That's a category error.
Mm-hmm.
But what it does, and it won't tell us that life didn't begin on its own. The scientific consensus is that it's extremely unlikely that life began on its own. I'll say that again. This is my claim. Before if we start arguing and this turns into a debate, this is my claim. The scientific consensus is that it's extremely unlikely that life began on its own. Do you agree with that?
Not really. From what I've seen, the consensus is, well, there's not really a consensus about what life is. It's what people are leaning to more towards is that it's likely an emergent property, just a consequence of chemistry and physics. But I haven't seen anything that says that the consensus that is extremely unlikely that it started on its own. Can you let me know what where that came from?
Okay, so that's the claim, and I came up with this. I shouldn't have said. I just thought of this. I've never really said it, but so it's like kind of like a comedian on an open mic night. But this isn't funny. Imagine a car, because we're talking about life. Life is an integrated system, but we have kind of boiled it down to what we know you need for life. You need metabolism and self-replication. And think of a car analogy. What do you need for it to be an automobile? You need tires, you need a motor, and the motor would kind of sort of be the analogous to the metabolism situation, right? But we're not going to go there. It's not exactly like that. You need, and without a motor, you don't have a vehicle. Without wheels, you don't have a vehicle. Without a transmission, you don't have a vehicle, right? We got three basic things. So without a membrane, which is like fat, basically encompassing the cell, right? For all the stuff that live inside of, that's really what it's saying, but you get what I'm saying, to exist in. Well, you need fat, and life is an information storage transfer system of metabolism and self-replication. And it's not, now these nucleotides are what tell it what to do. We found them in outer space. We found them in the ocean. We found them on the ground. They're just laying on the ground. Okay. But that's not life. Life is the information that tells it to metabolize and self-replicate. And what science, and I want to hear your response. It's kind of like this. Science, because we're alive, we're in the middle of life. It's like we're traveling down the road at 75 miles an hour, and that's what life is. It's traveling down the road, but you don't have if you take away the tires, you're crashing. Take away the engine, you're not moving, right? So we're looking at it. We're inside the car trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Or sorry for cussing. For trying to figure out why we're alive, and it's really very simple. We've reduced it to these things. We know what it takes. It takes a mind to synchronize and synthesize these nucleotides. I yield the time.
Okay, so it looks like you're going after irreducible complexity. Now, here's the thing: when it comes to the scientific consensus about life, I actually looked that up while you were talking because I said I wasn't sure about what you were saying. Now, what I was able to find is that the consensus is that life is not unlikely or impossible to have started on its own. It's the consensus is that it was started naturally through non-living matter through a process called abiogenesis. Right. That's the consensus.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, but I just wanted to get to your other thing about irreducible complexity.
No, hold on. But no, let's go one point at a time because I'm going to forget, and I'll never get to this point, and I have to explain something. So science. The reason why whatever your search thing is telling you that is for multiple reasons. So let's be as generous as we can here. Okay. Science must assume that a natural process happened, and that's a good thing. We don't want God invoked into our science, into humanities, to any of our science. So science is kind of about this weird situation where they have to assume, and by the way, fund it. I want you to fund it. I want to pour more into it. There's the abiogenesis funding, origin of life funding isn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal. Do you understand that there's a reason why we still pull up the miliary? Because that's where we're at. That's all we really have. We've observed amino acids. We've observed amino acids, nucleotides on asteroids, proteins. I mean, it's all the same thing. Amino acids, nucleotides, you probably know this. Outer space, asteroid, like I said, just laying on the ground. They're everywhere, but that's not what life is. Life is the arrangement of them that tells the cell what to do. And scientists know, and scientists in a million years will never, because there's like restrictions in science. There's like lines that you can't cross. And in a million years, they're only going to be able to say it's extremely unlikely. But now that we know more about cell they'll never be able to say it didn't happen.
But
so we're asking
this doesn't really.
We know it didn't begin.
Hold on.
The people that know the science know it didn't begin.
So Charles. So hold on. When it comes to all I was saying was that when it comes to the scientific consensus, the consensus is that it was an emergent property, like life emerged from non-living matter through abiogenesis. That's the consensus. But when it comes to irreducible complexity, what they because I was actually looking that up as well, because I know that's what you're leaning to. Irreducible complexity was actually disproven scientifically and legally. Like, you can take away parts from something and the whole thing still works. Like, evolution doesn't require like a finished product. That's not really what evolution is. So that's what that was your thing with your vehicle analogy, where if you don't have if you don't have like an engine or anything like that, then you don't have a vehicle. But that's not what evolution is, and that's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? So it's a fundamental understanding about
evolution. We're not talking about evolution.
Right. So when it came to your analogy of the car, exactly were you talking about?
So evolution is different than, I agree with evolution 100%, but abiogenesis is a whole nother topic. It's there's an overlap between chemistry and biology. They're trying to figure out, they have synthetic chemists, they have biologists. Most people are chemists. They're trying to figure out how these chemicals came to life, and they realize what life is it's a started engine. It's the cell metabolizing and self-replicating and respiratory responses to, it's like a gas response, digestion, and it's all encased in a membrane.
Right. I agree with all of that, right?
No, listen,
but the consensus is that started through. But what I'm saying is that the consensus. What I'm saying is that
you don't.
What I'm saying is that. 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 What I'm saying is that.
You don't know. You said, "Hey, I looked it up while you were talking." The consensus. While you were.
All right. We're not gonna. We're not gonna do this insaneness. All right? We're not gonna do this. Jesus Christ, the fuck! We're not doing this. I'm not doing this. All right, y'all. Yeah, more Christian crash outs. Jesus Christ. All right, random guy. How's it going, random? Yeehaw. All right, just some guy. How's it going, just some guy? I know you're friendly of mine. I appreciate you being up. How's it going tonight, bro?
Yeah, that was an epic crash out, and I gotta respect you for how you handled that. Seriously. I just came up to say that first of all, I totally respect what you're doing here, and I totally respect the way that you handled that. I discovered you yesterday when Sean James came up on your he's a friend of mine, and so I stalk him, and I showed up, and I followed him to your live. And I totally respect what you're doing here. I am following you because I love what I saw last night, and I love what I've seen again tonight. Like,
appreciate it, man.
100%, mad respect, and I think your arguments are great. That last guy, like, that was like, he started out okay, he got completely unhinged.
Bro, it just, I was like, yo, this is getting unhinged, right? Because he's talking for like 2-3 minutes. I'm not getting a word in. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to respond to something, right? So I'm like, yo, this is the consensus. This is what I was able to find, because I was pretty sure what he said was incorrect, right? So I'm like, let me go ahead and make sure, because it's like, I didn't hear that. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. Pretty sure the consensus is that it's an emergent property. So I looked it up just to verify. I'm like, yeah, that's an emergent property. It's like how I thought.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's what completely completely crashed out, man. Christian crash outs are hilarious.
Oh, absolutely. And they do it on any topic that doesn't agree with their magical thinking.
Oh, but
you're absolutely right. Like, abiogenesis, we have replicated every single individual step for abiogenesis in a laboratory. The only thing we haven't done is gone from amino acids to an actual eukaryotic cell, and that's because in order to do that experiment, it would take roughly 3,000 years.
Right, exactly.
So until we run that experiment,
it's just we won't be alive to see the end product.
Exactly.
So, like, the only way it'll work is that we have to like sci-fi our way to it. Maybe we can make a temporal box and you know what I mean, and make time run faster within that little temporal box. You know what I'm saying? And if we could do that, they're gonna weaponize it. Yeah, of course, they're gonna use that to, make an entire field of soldiers into old people, basically. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I watch too much Star Trek. I watch too much Orville.
No. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but so anytime anybody comes up and says we haven't proven abiogenesis, it's because the window for the experiment is way too fucking long. But literally every step in that is necessitated to get to abiogenesis, we have already recreated. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to come up and throw.
Oh right. Yeah, I was gonna say when it comes to abiogenesis, I'm not well versed in it, but I do know enough to say that a lot of these creationists are they're what they're saying is wrong. You know what I mean? But Professor Dave actually explained a lot. You know, I mean, I saw his. I'm not sure if you follow him or if you saw his debate with James Tour, but it was insane. If you haven't, I'll DM you and I'll show you what it was about. But yeah, it was.
I have not. Yeah. I don't know either of those people. So
okay.
I've only been on TikTok for about 3 months.
Gotcha.
So I'm very new to TikTok.
No, I got you. Professor Dave is over on YouTube. He's a science communicator. He was talking about origin of life research, and James Tour is a guy that Answers in Genesis and Discovery Institute. They put him out there as like the best that they got because he's actually is a synthetic chemist. He actually is a chemist and he understands chemistry. But when it comes to abiogenesis, he literally has no idea what he's talking about. You know what I mean? And Professor Dave was actually able to show that through a series of videos. I'm gonna DM you definitely about all the videos. All right. So, but it's
I
great.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's you know, if you ever have a long trip, you have to drive like 2-3 hours, or if you're on a plane, it's wonderful to listen to. Yeah, I mean, it's great.
I do that every other week. So
yeah, definitely.
DM me whatever you want. I'm happy to eat it up.
Gotcha. So, you'll love it. Hey, but some guy, I definitely appreciate you coming up and showing the love, bro.
Yeah, the last thing I want to say is I grew up in Southern Louisiana, and I grew up exposed to voodoo and hoodoo, and it's the only superstition I can't shake, and I'm like intellectually it's not there, but intuitively, like just reflexively, like it's still like
it's still one of those things. I got you. Same with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same with me. It's still one of those things. Same with me.
I totally respect that, and I totally acknowledge that, and I appreciate what you're doing here. So,
hey, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you coming up, showing the love. And I'm definitely DMing you everything I got. All right.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Nah problem. Appreciate you. All right, guys. We're at an hour and 40 minutes. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here soon. Oh, let me move this over. I gotta go ahead and fix that because it seems when it comes to my topics on the board, it seems it's controlled a lot by if someone's on the stage or not. At least from what I see on my phone. Looks a little weird, but don't worry about that. All right, guys. We really appreciate y'all. We're about an hour and 40 in. So everyone who was just calling me stupid in the Black Atheist Coalition, none of y'all actually called in. So, I guess keep calling me stupid. But anyway, over on Volcy Thoughts, hey, I appreciate y'all. Shout out to my mod, Resist. Shout out to my mod, Why Weed. You guys are amazing. Y'all are wonderful. And I appreciate y'all. Well Adjusted. Shout out to Well Adjusted over there on the Volcy Thoughts channel. Me and Well Adjusted and J-Man, we will be hosting soon Nuance and Black, which is a show for which is going to be a podcast for the Black experience, talking about any type of news, pop culture, anything, any conversation that's happening within the Black community. That's what we'll be talking about over in Nuance and Black. I'm not sure if I'm going to create a TikTok for it, but if I do, that'll be one thing that I'll do. I'll post the clips on that TikTok so you guys can follow that. But it's definitely going to be on YouTube, and we're going to be featured on Red Mirror Media. We just got to go ahead and get it together. We got to talk soon. It's been really busy, which is why we haven't talked. But I promise y'all, producer Steve, me, Well Adjusted, and J-Man, we're going to talk about it soon. All right. It's been really busy for us. I got school, they got work, I got work. That's the only reason we haven't talked about it. Yeah, I mean, so but we're gonna talk about it soon. We already have it out there. All right. Shout out to to Red Mirror Media. And shout out to Well Adjusted over on my Volcy Thoughts over on Deconstruction Junction. I appreciate you all on there. W stream, definitely W stream. But I appreciate y'all on there over on the Deconstruction Junction. Y'all are wonderful. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'm getting a call. Who's calling me? Oh, that's Alberto. I'll call you soon, Alberto. That's one of my military buddies calling me. I'll call him back in a second. But y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. We've been on for about an hour 45 minutes. You guys are amazing. Shout out to my mod to here. Y'all, before I get out of here, let's see if we can hit the live goal before I get out of here. Before I get out of here, let's try to hit that live goal. Let's try to hit that live goal before I get out of here, y'all. We'll see if we can get at we can at least get halfway there. Over on the Volcy Thoughts channel, y'all, I do have a super chats goal. Let's try to hit that before I go ahead and get out of here. Over on the Black Atheist Coalition. Over on the Black Atheist Coalition, shout out to everybody who was calling me stupid and wants to pray for me and everything like that. Y'all can go ahead and pray for me, and I'll think for you. All right. Yeehaw! We hitting that live goal. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. All right, and we have Edmund over on my Volcy Thoughts, you know, telling me to believe in God, but sure, I believe in God. The God that I believe in has a really big, bodacious booty. Yeah, I mean, and she's a black woman. Yeah, I mean, she's a black woman. She has a big, bodacious booty, and she's gonna have my children. I'm talking about my wife. That's God. All right, babe. She probably listening to music. She probably got her headphones on right now. Not even listening to what I'm saying. But all right, y'all. Let me go ahead and get out of here, y'all. Don't worry about the live goal. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. But listen, I'm gonna get out of here for real. I appreciate y'all. Just to give y'all a heads up, my project for coming in April and May, I'm gonna start doing lives on positive masculinity. All right, April and May, I'm gonna start doing lives on positive masculinity. We've seen the damage that the red pill has caused. We've seen the damage the red pill has caused. So we're gonna talk to young men about healing, about becoming better men, about understanding masculinity outside of the paradigms of patriarchy and misogyny. We need to understand masculinity outside the paradigms of patriarchy and misogyny. You need to understand how to be a man without thinking that everyone else needs to be beneath you. Masculinity does not need to be about dominance and emotional insecurity, emotional unintelligence. It doesn't need to be about those things. You can be emotionally intelligent. You can be vulnerable. You can be soft and be a man. And every man should be soft. Every man should be secure, affectionate, wise, flexible, and thoughtful. Every man should be soft. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all have a good